Against the Ropes podcast.
He is indeed very aggressive. You don't want to change his style, just kind of fix a couple things here and there. A former fighter of yours who's taking a lot of criticism lately for that same thing, changing his style, is Oscar Valdez. A lot of people feel like that change to Eddie Reynoso was not necessarily beneficial because it did change his style too much. Any thoughts on that?
No, well, I spoke to Oscar. As a matter of fact, I spoke to him about, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago or so. He came to visit me. He was at my house. He's a good friend of mine. You know, we had Estrellita was there, myself, and some friends who were just hanging out, having a little barbecue and whatnot. And Oscar was there. He came to visit, and he told me that he was fighting Berchelt. So, you know, I love Oscar. Oscar's a good friend of mine. We have a lot of history. We made history together, as you all know. Try to give him some pointers as to the fight and, you know, as to what to do. I don't want to step on Eddie Reynoso's toes or anything like that, but I did give him some advice as to how to approach the fight. And, you know, I mean, he is who he is. And you know, with Eddie, I don't want to sit here and you know, say anything negative or anything that might go off the wrong way. You know what I mean? I mean, you're all seeing the same thing everyone else is seeing. You know what I mean? It's not working. He's trying to make him perhaps a counter puncher when he's not, or try to get him to box when he's not a boxer. And I particularly would not do that with any fighter. Any fighter that comes to me, you know, if he was an amateur fighter, then yes, you know, perhaps you make him your way. You know, I work with amateur fighters. I've been working with amateur fighters my entire life. And obviously, when you work with amateurs, you develop them and you make them your way, you know. And then eventually they develop their own particular style. So you work according to what you have. And that's the situation with Oscar. You have to work according to what you have. You can't, you know, he's a veteran fighter now. He's not a kid. Again, going back again to what I said, he's not an amateur fighter where you can, you know, change him and make him your way. He's not that type of fighter. And you have to just work with whatever cards are dealt your way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you see his chances against Berchelt? Berchelt is probably one of the most avoided fighters in the game right now. How do you fancy his chances against a fighter of that caliber?
I like Oscar's chances. I really do, because Oscar has to go back to what he knows. Oscar has to go back to what works for him, you know. And if you go back to his last couple fights, or anyway, since he started working with Reynoso, you always go back to what you know. So when he gets himself into trouble, when the last opponent and the one before this last one, he found himself in a little bit of trouble. He's trying to do things that he's not accustomed of doing. So what does he do? He goes back to what he knows, and that's where he has success. So if Oscar can go back to what he knows and being an aggressive fighter and try to fight him on the inside, he has a chance. I don't think Berchelt is a great fighter. I don't take anything away from him. And Caballero, his coach, is, you know, we developed a pretty good relationship. He's my friend as well. But business is business, as you all know. Yeah. But I believe that Oscar does have a chance, and I believe Berchelt will stand there and sit there and bang with Oscar. And if that happens, he definitely has a chance.